Hey everyone, Pupsker here, and today in Warframe, we're talking about, that's right, all of the Warframe 2023 tier lists that are coming out, about to come out, ones I've made, other people have made, etc. After all, it is Warframe tier list 2023 season. It's time now. Reason being is, well, whenever the new year strikes over or close to the new year, everyone loves making their tier list because, let's be real, tier lists are fun, people enjoy them, and everyone likes to take a look at all of the Warframes and weapons. But, you know, there's always stuff that is important to note about tier lists. First off is whoever's making the tier list is definitely going to have personal biases to how they feel about Warframes, no matter what, me or anyone else, right? They will like certain Warframes more than others, how they play, and they will have their own perceived idea of how strong they are, and that's honestly different from each individual, which is fine, and that's kind of how it should be. Warframe is a massive game where a lot of people tend to play different styles, play differently, and enjoy the game differently. You can go to level 9999, which is by no benefit really to you, it's just for fun, but that is a certain playstyle people like. Other people like to just speed through missions as fast as humanly possible. Other people like to just sit and chill in a corner in a mission and just collect resources. So everyone has their own certain type of playstyle and certain Warframes that they do enjoy. So naturally, that's going to affect the tier list. And yeah, that's just how it is. I will have my tier list probably for every Warframe 2023, probably up and around in another week or so. It just depends when I feel like making it. I'll probably make it on stream with everyone on YouTube and Twitch, and yeah, that'll be just a fun time overall. But we did get through our top 10 most popular lists. I don't know if people realize, but those top 10 most popular weapons and Warframes, those are all based on the 2021 numbers because I haven't made those videos and I was just kind of chilling waiting for the 2022 numbers to come out. So that's kind of where we're at right now with the whole Warframe tier list situation. We're gonna be doing it, and oh boy, we'll talk about our personal biases. I think usually when people make tier lists, they started off by saying like what they're technically grading the Warframes on. Mine will be on general usability, fun, and just ability to play Warframe, the game, base Warframe around all the maps and Steel Path, what have you, because you know, that's what I assume all Warframes should be graded on and based on. The ability to play the general game of Warframe. Not any like one hyper-specific thing, but they'll probably get bumped up if they're pretty good at certain things or excel, right, in certain areas. So usually every Warframe will have like a handful of minute explanation of why I would, or anyone else would think they're in whatever ranking they are. And yeah, that just is what it is. Everyone will disagree, agree, but all in all, tier lists are for fun and they don't actually like matter. Like with anything, they don't matter in a game like Warframe more than like what you personally like, what you like to play, what you think's enjoyable, and what you think is strong as can be. After all, I would rate something like Protea, even though she's my favorite frame, I'd probably still rate her an A, because she could be stronger, deal higher damage, but overall she's still beautiful and quite amazing. Other people could put her S tier and that'd be understandable. Other people might even put her B tier if they don't like her kit. The thing about Warframe though is now Warframe has so many options and just so much usability customization that any Warframe in the game is pretty much an automatic B rank if you have full customization. So that's always kind of one of those weird things to think about. With Helminth, Archon shards, the breadth of different mods in the game, everything's essentially decent and usable. So from there, like if you have everything in the game unlocked, everything's pretty much good. So yeah, that's why like Warframe tier lists, they're for fun, they're cool, they're interesting, nice to get like a look at every Warframe and get a general idea about how they are used, but dude, everything in Warframe is just so strong that if you like it, you like it. Things get buffed a lot and there's probably to be fair, there's a lot of Warframes I've barely played in this past year, and probably haven't even played in the past year or two. So Warframe tier lists are going to be a fun time. Hopefully it won't be too much of a meme, but hey, it is what it is. Let's take a look and see what the YouTubes is saying are some of those current Warframe tier lists coming out. Boom. So if I YouTube search Warframe tier list 2023, it looks like Brozyme is going through his current Warframe tier list as like a YouTube premiere. Those are always popular. Nice, 1.2K people are watching. Nice, nice, nice. So that's good. Got another tier list there. Nightmare Frame, Smextagon, Gaming Weasel, right? So people have made their tier lists. Some tier lists are made like 4 weeks ago, probably for that sweet, sweet December CPM, you know, gotta make that money, understandable. Others made and released like now when people feel like releasing it, getting everything together, but everyone does know releasing videos in December will yield you those sweet, sweet CPMs, of course. So looks like everyone's getting their top 10s, best tier lists out. So yeah, it makes sense, like understandable. Oh, and then it just goes and trails off into, yeah, other roster reviews from like years ago. But yeah, it just makes sense. Tier lists are fun, they're pretty enjoyable, and it's nice to look at a lot of Warframes. I know some people show off their mods on Warframes when they do tier lists. I think we'll probably look at abilities, and then I'll throw on my general mod setup that I have for the Warframes, even if I don't really use the Warframe too much. With any sort of basic build, you can surprisingly do most of the star chart and Warframe with most Warframes. Once you have the mods and you just kind of know what you're doing and how you like to play, luckily, you can just kind of do whatever you want. So Warframe's a good, fun game like that, right? Once you have the unlocks, you have all of the options. So that is nice. The one thing that is always kind of funny about roster or like roster reviews, tier lists, etc. is how much do people like really consider into Warframe, and what do they really consider good, right? I think playstyle and usability of abilities should be rated pretty well. Like, do the abilities work well together? I know nowadays they're trying to make more Warframes like Varuna, where the entirety of the kit meshes really well together. Even if maybe they're not the strongest frame, I'd still rate Varuna at like a B+, or maybe, yeah, probably like B+, because she's a good, strong frame to use overall. But you know, maybe not the strongest for Steel Path or like high level content, so, but she's still easily strong and usable for all of the game. So it can just get all over the place. Augment mods in Warframe are so insanely strong, and each Warframe now generally has a good handful of augment mods, 3, 4, that either help a little bit or sometimes help a lot. Once in a while, it'll completely change how you play a Warframe. With Baruch, I could quickly take a look at his augment mods and just see Reactive Storm, 250 crit chance, or sorry, status chance, really useful, right? We have Endless Lullaby, also really good if you are using Lull more as a actual CC tool. So there's just so many different items, mods, setups in Warframe now that anything's so freaking good if you want it to be. You can helmet on anything and make it even stronger. You can throw on Archon shards, Archon mods, primed mods, So I just like to always remind everyone, tier lists, while they are fun, interesting, and great, there's just no need to be like too toxic over them, because y'all are gonna heavily disagree with a lot of my Warframes that I rate high, low, etc. Some probably are pretty decent these days compared to how they were years ago, but some I hate a lot more than others, and I think are just worse. So yeah, certain mains will get mad. Maybe if you're like a huge Hildren player and maybe I don't like her kit a lot, maybe I'm gonna rate her a C. Yeah, that might make a lot of people mad, especially with her Prime coming out this year. So tier lists are fun, but hey, just don't take it too seriously, and don't get too mad, because there's no need for that. There's no need. The tier list will probably end up being like 2 hours long, because Warframe as of right now has, I think it's 51 or 50 Warframes. So there's just too many. and prime, non-prime versions, right? That never matters because a prime variant is just slightly better stats-wise, so that's always important to note, but it's always for fun, right? And it doesn't matter too much. I'm gonna be generally going with the like A, B, C, D method of tier listing and rating. I will throw things like, maybe I'll throw it like A plus, B plus, you know, but that's generally going to be my rating scale of the Warframes. I'm gonna mainly be looking at their base kit without Archon mods and without Helminthing abilities, because I don't think you should consider an individual Warframes kit and like rating when you look at something like the Helminth, or when you look at like having all of the augment mods. But I probably will bump things up a little bit for augment mods or talk about them a little. It's just augment mods are so good, and some Warframes have such godly augment mods that like it changes the rating of it, and I just think that's so crazy for something like that. But augment mods are a weird thing to talk about, so I'm always kind of curious where people land on that, but I do think they should have a probably like decent bearing on the rating, but I'm just never like 100% sure how much I should put based on the augment mod. Because you can always just go to any one of the syndicates right here and take a look at like all of the augment mods one by one, and you'll realize like, oh, some augment mods are absolutely like garbage. Others are god tier. Like certain ones like for Ashe, all of a sudden Ashe can completely strip armor with his like shurikens off one of his augment mods, and then makes him honestly probably like a whole tier better or two than he was before, because that means he can run around invisibly stripping armor and killing people, which isn't too bad. His other abilities might not be perfect and they might not work as well as they could, right? One just swaps him out with the another person. That sucks without an augment mod. The other one kills enemies at a range but uses a lot of energy if you don't get the kills. It's a good one, but not better than just killing everything with AoE. So yeah, that's the thing with tier lists. It always matters, depends what you have, what setups you have, augments. There's now Archon shards, so much variations with arcanes. Like, let's just look at a Warframe, right? A base Warframe like Baruch. You have the base mod setup, a ton of different type of just strong mods, Umbral, Archon, high level corrupted mods, right? You have the shield converting mods, all strong, great mods. You have good aura mods, then you have auxiliary mods or Exilus mods, right? Great. Arcanes add a huge amount of damage and buffing to Warframes, can make them way more unkillable or way more stable than they were before. So that's like huge. Arcane Energize, Molt Augmented, Zerman was a massive source of great new arcanes, right? That adds a lot. Then you throw on a Warframe like Protea and you see like, oh, I have 5 Archon shards in her already. She's fully kitted out, like not bad, has an Archon mod, primed mods, an Umbral mod thrown on here. Like this is just the build I like to use, and she has infinite shield gating. Yeah, maybe I'll throw Protea on S tier actually. She seems, as a general Warframe, pretty amazing. But that's the thing, once you get back into the Helminth, you have then weekly invigorations, which are just like busted sometimes. Like look at that! Invigoration for Nija, 200% melee crit chance, 5 jump resets. That's insane. Fucking crazy. Then you have amazing mods, or sorry, abilities in here, like Rhino's Roar you can just get. You can get Eclipse. Oh my god, amazing. You can get Sevagoth's Gloom, right? Which just instantly puts most Warframes at like very good, strong, usable tier. Ah, it's so beautiful. Now we have Archon shards, have some sweet casting speed, ability strength. You can put on some ability duration. There's so much variation now with that, so that's the thing with Warframe. Everything's just so strong and so good now that I wouldn't take any tier list, any top 10 list, anything like that. I wouldn't take those like too personally or like get too mad about them, because like they're for fun. Warframe is a power fantasy where anything can be strong as all hell once you get endgame. There's just so much to it. So yeah, just a little chat about the tier listing. It'll go like D is things that I think are pretty bad, not fun to play, and are bad at the star chart. C is probably things that are lower tier, not great, not the most fun to play, but like if you like it, that's fine, and you have more or find that they're better than others, like good for you for sure. B are gonna be frames that are like good, that I like, moi, pretty like regular frames that you can use. A are probably going to be frames that you can use pretty much on most maps, if not every map, very well, successfully. Won't even have to change the kit around too much. And then S frames, S tier frames are probably frames I'm going to be like, yeah, they're just so godly, so amazing, or so useful, or just have like something about them that are just so great that they're just so good for every single thing in the game, no matter what, pretty easily. So I don't know, I think that's just kind of how tier lists work. Things like Rhino, things like Protea, things like Wukong are probably gonna all be like BAS, right? They're all gonna be high tier for sure, because they're just strong, good, people like them, and they have such nice usability. Volt, Gauss, right? All great Warframes who would probably be rated high, but maybe not like S tier, because Volt and Gauss, while they are great, they still have shortcomings around certain types of maps and playstyles, but they're still great frames that you can kit out to be godly. So yeah, tier lists, they're fun. It's just they're not something you need to take too seriously. So go check out anyone's tier list. Let everyone know what you think. I'll be making mine on stream soon enough, and that'll be a fun one. They're always a really long thing to make. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about tier lists shortly, because I've just been seeing all the tier lists coming out. I've made my top 10s, but I haven't made any of my like personal tier lists or top 10s or top anything lists. So start expecting all of that soon enough, and we'll get to it. It's going to be a busy 2023 with everything coming out this year being pretty massive, so expect a little video on that tomorrow morning. I appreciate everyone being here, who's viewing, liking, subscribing. If you ever watch the streams on YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, I do appreciate it. If you check me out on Instagram, Facebook, any of the social medias, all in the description below. It always helps out if you ever check out anything, really. It all grows the channel and helps me exist with my cute little pupper dog who's sleeping beside me. So thank you. I do have an Epic Games creator code Pupsker if you ever buy anything on the Epic Games Store, but I don't have a Warframe creator code. Maybe one day, plus Warframe, but yeah, I'm in no rush. I memed them a little bit, so hey, maybe not. Either way, that's the end of the video. I do appreciate everyone. Thank you for being here, and I will see you next time. Peace.